music as well. So let's go ahead and bring in the featured artist of the week. I haven't actually mentioned them yet on the show, but we do have a featured artist tonight, and you all have heard his music before. We played it on the show before, and we all liked it so much that it was an easy choice. I've been talking to him for a couple of weeks, and here he is. We're talking to Mr. Bennett Hughes out of Pennsylvania. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. I'm glad that you were able to rent out the studio for the interview.
Yeah, it's nice when you can pull that off.
Now, is that your studio you're in?
Yeah, that's my studio that we're here.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. It's a very nice backdrop. So this part of the show, we have you just kind of introduce yourself, a little bit about your music, and if you could, take a minute or so and do that, and then whenever you're complete, you could introduce your song Lost and Found, and then we're going to come back after the song and get deeper with Dave.
Sweet. All right. Well, yeah, my name's Bennett Hughes, originally from East Coast of Canada. I've been living in Hershey for the past 3 years. I've been doing music full time. I've been producing some records, engineering records. I've been working on my own records for the past 15 years or so. I also teach a class in music technology and music production. So, man, I try to write songs just to spread a little hope. I love the rock genre. I love rock guitars. I love big drums. So for me, putting all those pieces together, it's been fun for 15 years. I hope it's fun for another 75. This song, Lost and Found, is very autobiographical. I find I write a lot of those songs from experience. I like those tracks. And so this is Lost and Found. It features a couple buddies of mine, Harry Vaughn on drums, Patrick Andy on bass, a killer Chris Hathcock kicking some lead guitar there at some point. So I hope you guys enjoy it. I appreciate you guys listening to it. Lost and Found.
Right on.
You've heard stories about this wrecking ball. I am. Yeah, you don't know me, but you're curious. Make what? The kid thinking hurt is praying for us. I am. I was lost, robbed, just talking to talk. Yeah, never really knowing, just fooling around. All alone, gone, searching for sounds. My mind to make up so you get down. Time, it's so friendly. No time, it's so friendly. When you're running on empty. No time, it's so friendly. Well, you can't believe everything you hear these days. Make people just be talking out for talking's sake. Yeah, but some of these people weren't telling the truth. How I used to be lost, but now I'm singing in pews. I am.
Lots of awesome comments coming in on the Facebook post in particular. That's the only one I'm able to watch. I know we're on YouTube too, but we have a lot bigger audience on Facebook. So that's where we hang out. So if you want to come and talk to us, facebook.com/Indie Music Plus. Like it, love it, share it. Bennett, we're going to go ahead and get deeper with Dave.
Sounds scary.
Deeper with Dave. We have the song coming. It's going to get there.
Deeper with
Oh,
you're just... I had something prepared and you just took over. Oh man.
I can keep going.
No, please stop. Please. All right. Bennett, man. Yeah, I was telling you before the show, dude. I was rocking out hard to this thing, man. I got a lot of thoughts on this. I mean,
Cool.
watching live here, it's like the hearts and the thumbs up were just going nuts when they were playing, and we don't always see that. So
That's cool.
the people like it. Everyone likes it.
Cool. Oh, that's awesome, guys. Thank you.
Yeah. So the first thing that jumped out to me for a point was all the influences and the time frame of it. So
Yeah.
I guess going the farthest back, I was thinking like the Ramones and Iggy Pop, like early punk and rock. It's in there, dude. It's in there.
Absolutely. No, yeah. Totally.
You can just tell them to shut up. No, sorry.
No, so let's start with that. We'll cover each piece. So what are your thoughts? Have you ever heard that as a reference?
I feel like I've gotten the Pixies before. I've gotten a lot of more now. I get Mute Math and I get Muse. People you tend to miss Bob Dylan. And I was a huge Slow Train fan. That record rocked me for, I think I listened to Slow Train. It's got my favorite guitar player, Mark Knopfler, on guitar as well.
Oh, yeah,
So,
I love him, yes.
I think I listened to that record straight for like 2 years.
Dire Straits, yes.
Yeah. But there's some of that punk stuff, absolutely, for sure.
But yeah, Bennett,
I'm probably
okay.
more.
Yeah, so here's a thought: is like if Muse covered a Ramones song,
And we called it Green Day early, it would probably be
yeah,
right.
sure.
Yeah.
No, because and the reason I say that is because it's so tight and it's so well produced. So
Thanks. Yeah.
most punk and most like punk rock, especially early 70s, 80s, dude, the mix on that was terrible. Like the tone,
that was
guitars
part
out
the
of
beauty
tune,
of the whole thing. Didn't matter. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's what's interesting about this is it has that feel to it, yet it's so clean and modern and fresh. And so the next point is that Joe and I have been a broken record about this for like over a year about how much rock songs we get that the reference is like 20, 30 years old and that's it. Like there's no like fresh reference from the past 5 years. So you're mixing. There's some techno in there, dude.
Sure.
There's some like it's so tight, it's so clean. There's not noise, and it all just like gels together and works for me, dude. It's
That's cool.
Such a unique sound. So like, kudos to you for that.
Hey man, thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
I grew up listening to a lot of weird music. It's my mom's fault. So you end up, you're growing up listening to like. I wouldn't go out of my way to listen to Paula Abdul, but that's what my mom was into. So, like, you listen to Paula Abdul, and you grow up and you listen to, you get into Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin and the Beatles, and I'm a huge Tom Petty and George Harrison fan, and so that stuff starts to come in, and then one day you just kind of start regurgitating something that still sounds like you, but it probably grabbing from all these different kind of pieces.
No, man, everyone knows, the brain is a sponge in those first few years. So what your mom is playing in the house, that has an influence. You have no choice. My mom played a lot of Bee Gees.
Sure,
So I'm like 10 years old and like Barry Manilow and stuff. I'm 10 years old and I suddenly realize I know every word to every song.
Every word to this song. Yeah, there's some Madonna albums I could sing for you from bottom to top, I wouldn't say, and it's cool. For a while, you're 22, you're like, I'm not going to tell anybody that I know these records inside out. But yeah, so that's cool, man. I'm glad you guys dig the tunes. That's cool.
Yeah, you get a little older, man, you don't care. Just tell it like it is.
You're just trying to make good music. Yeah.
And so the other interesting aspect.
Good music, then.
Yeah. The other unique aspect of what you're doing is so you produce, you engineer, you actually play most of the instruments. And I did a couple albums like that myself. And I want to ask you this question. Sure. What I got about, like, how do I say this? What felt so good about it, doing a couple albums where I played everything, is that I was able to create exactly what I heard in my head. Because that's how I write music. It just comes in a rush. I hear all the parts, and I just wanted to get it down exactly how I wanted to. Yeah. So it was like cathartic, just like going through that, and just completing it and being like, I can relax, because it's just like I couldn't stop until I got it exactly how I heard it. So there's that part, and the other part, I played and toured with bands for about 10 years, and when we made albums, everyone played their part, and it was the collaboration aspect of it was awesome. I enjoyed it because people were creating new sounds and melodies that didn't even cross my mind, and it was like, and you gelled together. It's like, wow, man, I really like how this came out. That's not how I would have done it, but that's cool. So it's like neither one is like wrong or right, so what are your thoughts on just all of that part?
I think like just having the opportunity to be creative, and I used to play in bands as well, and I still play in my band here at church from time to time if I'm not behind a soundboard. But I think at the end of the day, you can stick up roadblocks and kind of say, well, I'm not going to do anything anymore because I don't have a band, or I don't really have a big role in this band, so I'm not going to say anything. Instead of kind of looking at the roadblocks, just trying to continue creating. And that's what I've been trying to do. It's tough at times. You're the only person, and you're doing everything, and you have your own limitations, and whether it's whatever, but just to keep going, and in the moment where you're at, in the position where you're at, where I am right now, I love to create. I have loved to create ever since I was young, and I found my mother's guitar in the closet. I've loved to play and sing, and the fact that we can multi-track and layer upon layer, like for me, that's fun. I don't see it as cheating or anything like that. If anything, it can be harder without a band, because you've got to kind of be the band. Yeah,
it's more pressure. It's all on your shoulders. Yeah,
and you're trying not to make it sound like it's just you. You're trying to make it sound like it's an effort. Because if I just play the guitar the same way every time, it's going to be really boring and uninteresting.
Yeah. So Bennett, Matt, would love to chat more with you. We got to move on with the show, but before you leave, tell people where they can find you online, like social and website or anything.
Absolutely. And guys, thank you so much for having me. You guys can find me at BennettHughes.com, and you can find me at Bennett Hughes. All the links are there for Facebook, for Twitter, for my Bandcamp page, and you can go there and just listen to that whole track. There is a killer guitar solo by my buddy Chris Hathcock. That's going to happen 5 seconds later after we chopped her off.
All right, dude.
Guys, thank you so much.